Here's how I make glue out of pine sap. The Native Americans used this glue for all sorts of different tasks, including gluing arrowheads onto their arrows. It's also a good emergency fire starter. Pine sap is highly flammable. It's important to be really careful when you're working with this stuff near a fire. If you find a wounded pine tree, they'll probably have lots of little nodules of sap on it like this. What you want to do is collect as many of those as you can and put them in a pot or a cup that you can put on the fire and melt it all down. Here I have a bunch of melted down sap. It's heated up quite a bit and I don't want it to catch on fire, so I pulled it off the fire and just let that ambient heat keep warming it up and melting it all. In the meantime, I prepared a stick, keep this stirred until everything's liquefied. I have another pot up here that I actually broke and I'm just melting the sap out of it, and I'll have it drip into this one here, hopefully. Just have a piece of charcoal here that I cooled down from the fire. I'm gonna crush this up and add that to the glue. I like to add 1 part charcoal to 2 parts sap. Just have a little clay cup here. Grind up that charcoal into as fine a powder as you can. Thoroughly mix in that charcoal. At this point, this will make a very brittle glue. Pine pitch cools and becomes very brittle. What really helps it is animal fat. That gives it a lot more flexibility. This is a bit of bison tallow. Beef tallow or deer tallow will work just fine as well. I'm gonna start with that much. If you add too much tallow, your glue won't be sticky. If you add too little, your glue will be too brittle. You need to experiment with it a little bit. You're gonna start collecting that glue on this stick. As it cools, try and push your fingernail into it. If it's totally cool and your fingernail can just barely dent it when you're really pushing, then that's how you know you have a good consistency. Just switching over to a different container. You can save a little bit of this glue and add 50% tallow to it, and you'll get a really good wood finishing grease. I like to use it on my bows and my arrows. It'll be waterproofing, it will prevent it from getting damaged, it'll help it survive the elements. My glue's at a good consistency, so I'm just going to keep glopping it on until I've gotten all of it onto the stick. That's how you make natural glue.